is just tell us about Akeem, who he was as a person, as a son.
Akeem was outgoing, charismatic. He was my only son. He loved family. He was athletic. He loved football. He was a joy to be around. You was guaranteed a laugh if he was around you. He was just that.
And what grade was Akeem in when this took place?
He had just graduated 2 weeks before it happened.
And talk a little bit about what his dreams was. He had just graduated. What did he want to do in the future?
His biggest dream was to be a truck driver, but he had decided that he wanted to just do something local and go to school for truck driving in that fall and do like haul diesel short load trucks.
Yeah. And what do you want people to remember most about him?
I want people to remember that Akeem's life mattered, and this was taken senselessly, and we want justice for Akeem. It's been 4 years too long, but that is the main goal here. It won't bring him back, but we definitely want a closure to this.
Yeah. And just talk a little bit about, what do you remember about that night? When did you find out, if you can or if you're comfortable with just taking us back to that day?
That night, I got a phone call around 12:30-ish, and it was from a girl who was there, and she asked me, had anyone called me, and that Akeem had been in a fight and that he had gotten shot. And I told her no. And I asked her, was she sure that it was Akeem? And she said something back to one of her friends, and she said, that's Keem, right? And she said, yes. And I told her no, that I hadn't got a call, and thanked her for calling. And as soon as I hung up, I called his phone. Of course, I didn't get an answer. Then I called his friend's phone, and I still didn't get an answer. I called the friend's mom, and she called the friend, and he answered and confirmed that that had happened. And from there, went to the hospital.
And this was a graduation party. It wasn't his graduation party, but maybe some classmates who had?
It wasn't his graduation party. It was a graduation party in a different city, and they were just going, you know, to hang out.
Yeah. And talk a little bit about how your life has changed since.
My life, my family's life has changed tremendously. It will never be the same. A piece of my heart is gone forever. It just has not been the same. Stressful, praying, keeping faith that this will get out and to get some answers, get some closure. But it has not been the same since.
Yeah. And Dad, talk a little bit about, you know, this is your son. Talk a little bit about him and, you know, kind of you guys' last conversation.
Our last conversation was honestly, one of my cousins was having a block party that following Saturday. And he called me, he was like, Daddy, he said, where the four-wheelers at? I was like, one of them still kind of iffy, but what you trying to do? He said, we're gonna ride the four-wheelers at the block party tomorrow. I said, that's a bet. He said, I gotta work. He said, but tomorrow morning, I'm gonna call you. I need you to come pick me up if I can't get me no ride. That was our last conversation.
And he's your only son?
He was my baby, my next to the baby. I have 2 other sons.
And that being your, you know, your youngest son, talk a little bit about how it's weighed on you, if you'd like to share.
I missed her smile. He was always a happy spirit. I miss it.
And like you said, it's been more than four years. No arrests have been made. I know officers or the police department did put up a $2,000 reward. Talk a little bit about just how you guys are feeling, or any other family members who may want to speak to this about, it's been 4 years now. No arrests have been made. And if someone who was at that party that night or may know anything, what do you want them to know, or what would you like to say?
I would basically like to say that over a span of 4 years, not only his family, but the community is hurting as well, and that we just want justice to be served. We just want anybody that has any information, no matter how big or how small, to please come forward and provide that information, as it will provide closure to his mom and to his family. As we said before, his life mattered, it was valuable, and our family will absolutely never be the same again. I also want to encourage any parent, encourage your children to speak, encourage them to come forth. Whatever they can contribute will be greatly appreciated.
Mom, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, just want to piggyback off of what she said. There were over 200 kids there that night. His friends, someone knows something, and I would just want them to come forward and tell the absolute truth about what happened and who did what that night, to give us some closure.
And like officers said, there is a reward for any information. And
right, and they can call anonymously and give any information that will lead to an arrest.
And my next question is, talk a little bit about how the investigation has gone. Do you feel as if investigators have kept you guys updated? Do you feel like enough is being done through the course of this 4 years?
At first, speak on that now.
I think that the investigators have done everything that they can do, provided with the information that they have. I think that they have pretty much interviewed everyone that has came forth, or anyone that has had any form of information. However, I do feel the investigation can go a bit further if someone would just come forth and say something, be truthful. As his mother said, an event with 200 to 300 kids there and nobody knows anything is mind-boggling to me. It's almost unbearable to know that that many kids were there and nobody has any input.
And this took place inside of like an event center.
Correct.
Correct.
So it was a permitted party. Do you guys know exactly who was behind the party, like a parent or anything, or?
No.
No. Okay. And what do you want to say directly to whoever is responsible, if that person is watching this when it airs later today? What do you want them to know? And all of you can have a say.
How you sleep with yourself. I don't understand. I ain't never been perfect, but don't nobody deserve that.
We would want them to just step forward and admit to the wrong that they have done. One of the first things in an 8-step process called the atonement is pointing out the wrong. And that's what they should do. They should point out the wrong within themselves. They know what they have done. You've taken a life that we'll never get back again. And we need closure, and the only way to get closure is for you to step forth and have the courage to say, I was wrong in that moment, I'm the responsible person, and then we can go from there.
Anyone else?
Same thing here. Like his mom said, Akeem's life was of great value, and we're just pleading for the person to come forth and be honest, because God sees. And we want you to just give us what we need so that we can try to continue on this healing journey and be there for one another. Just do the right thing, please.
And since Akeem was tragically killed, we've seen other young football players in this region lose their lives. We have Brandon Smith, Darius Bryant. When you hear about those cases, talk a little bit about what goes through your mind. Do you guys feel as if it's a situation is going on in those counties where teens are putting their hands into things and on things that they shouldn't have?
Every single time that something like this happens to our youth in our community, it takes me back to the exact night that this happened to Akeem. And the feelings I have are the exact feelings, because I know exactly how the parents feel, how the community feel, all over again. It's just like a wound that won't heal, because it just keep happening, and it just needs to stop, because it's all senseless. Nobody life needs to be taken as this way. All lives matter, and it's tragic and it's sad.
Anyone else? And talk a little bit about, do you feel like enough is being done to protect young people in those communities?
Well, I mean, there are some organizations and people that are concerned and that are trying to make a difference. I personally happen to be one of those persons. I'm on a quest now to bridge the gap between the warring cities of Manchester and Thomaston. I have what we call an AAU basketball program, mentorship program that I run in both cities. And I bring those young people together in hopes that they can dine together, be together, go through different trials and tribulations together, and bond together. So far, it's been successful. That does not bring Akeem back, but it does help us to move forward in the future so that we can curtail some of the violence that's going on in both cities. So and others are helping to facilitate that so that these type of atrocities never happen again.
And back to the day that this all took place, or maybe days before, had Akeem had any conversations with you about maybe back and forth with someone? Do you know if he had any arguments going on at that moment? Do you believe that he was even involved maybe with this altercation, or was it someone else having an altercation and he just happened to be in that surrounding area?
I don't know of any arguments or anything that he had. He hadn't mentioned anything before. It had been an ongoing thing between like Manchester and Thomaston previously. He actually was involved in the fight that night. So I'm not sure, no one's saying who they were fighting. They said some names, but nobody's just saying who all was involved. But he was involved in the actual fight, and he was not the only one who got injured that night as well. Another younger man from Manchester, well, from Woodbury, he got injured as well. And if he could come forth and say anything or, tell the truth about what happened, that would be a great help as well. Because it will be justice for him as well, because he was a victim.
That's right. And it seems as if, unfortunately, your son, Smith's case, Bryant's case, they all stem from that Thomaston, Manchester. What's your words to these teens out here that may be listening to this when it comes to just like you said, senseless violence?
It's not worth it. Just to get life in prison without a possibility of parole. You're just losing your life just because I don't know if it's, you know, street credibility or what they're wanting, but it's not worth it to take someone's life senselessly and get life in prison for what? You got other things, prosperous things you can do out in, you know, in the world. I just don't understand it at all.
Anything else you guys would like to say or add or mention that I may have not asked?
Well, we just, as the mother said, we're looking for closure. And we need more responsible men and women to assess the situation and then pool together all resources that we can so that we can bring closure to what happened to Akeem. And, you know, I was thinking as I was driving down that the ones that you just mentioned, Mr. Smith, DB, it seems like they have gotten justice. By some arrests have been made. And Akeem being the very first one to lose his life has not. So we need anyone that has any information, come forth. Come forth. It's needed in a time like this. My teacher leading guide says to us that our unity is more powerful than a hydrogen bomb. And he goes on to say that our unity will solve 95% of our problems. We all have to unify behind this incident that happened to Akeem. And I guarantee you, if we do that, we'll get closure, we'll get answers, we'll get the people that need to be arrested. And as my niece was saying earlier, this impacts several people. Of course, Akeem and our family is hurting, but the young man that done this is in trouble as well. We may not be able to attest to it, but God can. And God is the best knower, and he will provide justice for us.
And I just kind of want to go back to, you know, it was 3 individuals that night, your son and 2 others who were shot. The other 2, they lived out their injuries, but they have not come forward, as far as you know.
They have not what?
They have not come forward
I'm not sure about the, it was one guy, I think he was from Thomaston, and the other young man, he has been interviewed but didn't give any information that could lead to an arrest or information that could help with the case.
And you guys kind of have already answered this, but just another opportunity for you to share any other words you may want to share. But for those 200 or 300 teens who may see this or are watching this, what do you want them to know?
I would say that it is perfectly fine to come forward. And it's perfectly fine to provide whatever information that they need. We know that they may be scared, and that's why they can call Crime Stoppers anonymously to make their tip or provide their information. But I just want them, and even their parents, to put themselves in our shoes.
Right.
What if it was your sibling? Or nevertheless, what if it was your son or your daughter that was killed that night? You would expect some justice to be done, just as we do. So we're just expecting parents, children, anyone that was in the area that night that has any form of information to please come forth, because anything can lead to an arrest.
Now, those are all the questions I have. Anything else you guys would like to say or add? Anything about Akeem that you'd like to tell us that maybe people wouldn't know?
Scholarship.
We have, in honor of Akeem's life and to keep his life and name going forward, we have established the Akeem Ellison Athletic Scholarship Award, where we award students from the Manchester High School only, because that is the school school that he attended. We award students each year. We have requirements that they have to meet to submit and have a, and we award kids each year with a scholarship in honor of Akeem. We have had the pleasure to honor at least almost 10 students since 2023 in efforts.
Static. Try to push it backwards if you can. Yep. That's perfect.
Okay.
And just say, how many students have you guys been able to award with that scholarship?
We have been able to award, it's been 10. Been 10 students since 2023.
And being able to kind of, you know, keep your son's legacy alive through that scholarship, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good because we will never, ever forget Akeem, and this is a way to keep his legacy alive by awarding the kids with this scholarship every year.
And Dad, this is your baby son. Talk a little bit about just growing up, the things that he liked to do, the things that you guys like to do.
Eat.
Eat.
He loved to eat.
Yes, he did. Oh, he was a big boy.
Everybody in my family will tell you the same thing. When he come in the house, he ain't care where you got to sleep at or whatever else. As long as you got something in the refrigerator and something in the pantry, he was the happiest soul.
And did he have a favorite meal?
Oh yeah, hot wings.
He loved some hot wings.
Yeah, Akeem loved family time, holidays, games. He was very competitive. So every holiday, like they said, the food, but the games, he was very competitive and enjoyed that and looked forward to that every year. And that's just one of the things we miss about him every holiday season is our family games and gatherings. So he's definitely a missed presence for sure.
And always, we took family vacations every year.
I love that.
And he was always a gentleman and a great help with helping to get stuff in the house, off the vans and loading back up. He's just missed all over.
And for anyone who may have painted your son, and I'm just, because many people make their own assumptions or say, well, maybe this was going on. For those rumors that may be out there, what do you want people to know that they have said about your son that you would like to clear up and let them know that this is who my son was, if there are any?
A gentle giant.
Gentle giant.
He was a gentle giant, and that word, that explains him perfectly. He was that friend that you would want to have. He was so loyal. And to be honest, his loyalty got him in the situation of what happened. He was more loyal to his friends than there ever have been to him, because if they were so loyal, then they would tell the truth about what happened that night.
And you feel as if, you know, his loyalty, unfortunately, cost him his life.
Yes.
It did.
Yes.
Just trying to make sure I have everything. Anything else that I may have been missing that you guys would like to add? He played football throughout high school.
Yes.
Freshman all the way up.
All the way up.
Throughout his life.
Yeah.
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 Ever
Probably
since
starting as a
rec ball.
kid, yeah.
Yeah.
That's his life.
He loved football.
Was it always only football, or did he dibble and dabble in other sports as well?
He dibble and dabble. He played baseball, but that wasn't his forte. He tried, but football was definitely his thing. He loved it so much, he played injured. He had hurt his knee and hurt his shoulder, and he hurt and fought through adversity and played with an injured knee and a injured shoulder his senior year. The doctor had told him that he didn't need to play his senior year and needed surgery, but his coach, thanks out to Coach Holmes, he got him a special thing to go around his shoulder that he could play to keep it in place so that he could play his last year of football. And for that, we were grateful because he was so upset he thought he wasn't going to be able to play.
And did he play with Smith and Bryant as well?
He played, yes. They were on the same team, Smith and Bryant. They were under him. They were freshmen, and Akeem was a senior.